The second half of our meeting, how we do our trainings is I don't even know what time is it. What time is? Oh, 7 o'clock. Good. The second half on how we do our trainings, right? Whoever it, if we have any guests on the line, anybody that wants to stay on. What we're going to do is we're going to open it up for our product training, and I'm about to introduce our guest. Let me stop sharing my screen. And again, this is the part 2 of our meeting here. And what we do in part 2, we just basically go over, we pick a topic, right, for the second half of our training, and we have training for all of the licensed and non-licensed agents that want to stick on or that want to stick around. I just want to introduce this lady because she's always giving me, praise, and, she's always thanking me. And, I appreciate all that. But what she doesn't know is how much I'm looking forward to learning from her, and most definitely learning more about IBC. So Teresa Delatucci, and I'm not even going to get into the story of how I met this amazing woman, but this woman has over 30 years of experience in financial services. She has helped over how many clients? 40 do IBC?
It's about 70.
Wow. Yeah. He's helped about 70 clients to date not only have a successful outcome in the infinite banking case design and the way that she creates it, but her personality and her knowledge in the industry is going to be able to help everybody on this call, because everybody right now in this financial climate that we have, we need to have more than one product in our wheelhouse. And what you're about to hear from now, it may be an advanced strategy, but you never know what a client may need or what a client may be sitting on as far as cash flow, that they're just unaware of what it is that they can use, right? So listen, I've talked enough. Please help me welcome Miss Teresa Delatucci from Arkansas to tell us all about IBC. I can't wait.
Yes, well, the hillbilly from Arkansas is going to maybe share something with you that will help you bring something new to your clients. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay with you and Raza.
Absolutely.
All right, let me get to, here we go. So actually, Carmen, I only have 20 years experience. But my business partner, Micah McFadden, is on this call with me today, and he has 24 years experience in the business. So he brings a very different skill set to what he and I do. We work mostly with business owners, but we'll work with anyone because our goal is to help get families, businesses, churches across the finish line to accomplish what they want. But 22 years ago, I read a book called Becoming Your Own Banker by Nelson Nash. That changed my life because at the time I was a stay-at-home mom. I was homeschooling 5 children. So we would read every afternoon, and I would send the kids to their room. They would read and I would read, and my dad had given me that book. And Becoming Your Own Banker was written by a gentleman out of Birmingham, Alabama, and he was a forester by trade. However, his brother-in-law was in the life insurance industry, and this was back in the early 80s when the interest rates went crazy. Nelson was about to lose everything, and his brother-in-law said, you've been funding dividend-paying whole life policies for years. You have enough cash value to pay off all of your debt, and you can pay yourself back. And so that started a whole journey for me. And I got very frustrated. I couldn't find a life insurance agent that was knowledgeable enough to help my family and I. And so I just called Mr. Nash one day and I said, Mr. Nash, and I told him who I was and how many children we had. My husband at the time worked for a large corporation here in Arkansas. And his exact words to me were, he was a very nice Southern gentleman. We lost him about 4 years ago, and I hated losing him, but he was 84 years old, lived a great life. But at the time, he said, well, love, you need to go get your life insurance license, and I'll be your mentor, and I'll teach you everything I know. And I didn't realize what a blessing that was going to be on my life, was to have the master of the private family bank and the private financing strategy mentor me and teach me what I know. The other thing Nelson did for me was he introduced me to a gentleman at Mutual Trust Life. His name is Mark Creighton. Mark Creighton is my regional vice president, and Mark Creighton has more experience in the private financing world than I do, but he has it on the life insurance industry side. So between Nelson Nash and Mark Creighton, they taught me policy design, policy loans, why a family would want to do it. And so here are the things I want to very quickly impart to your team that we can bring to the table, because Micah and I have a lot of skill sets, but this is one of our specialties, and we can help your agents build their business. We love indexed universal life. We love it for retirement. We know the good it does. We love tax strategies. We know the good it does. But if you have a family or a business owner that want to do better than doing business just day-to-day mundane with their bank, we can bring that to the table and help your team write more business and be of way more value to their clients than they currently are. So one of the things that I want to show, hold on just a second, let me make sure I can share this. So everybody's going to use their local bank, right? We all have a local bank account. You're going to deposit money in there, and you're going to have checking and savings and maybe CDs and maybe money markets, but then you're going to go right back to your bank and borrow money from them. And right now, that borrowed money is very expensive for whatever you need. Well, there's a reason that banks loan money. It's very profitable. But what most people don't realize is that a mutual insurance company and a bank are almost the same entity, except a mutual insurance company focuses only on paying their policy owners a dividend and loaning money to their policy owners at a 5% interest rate. And where's anybody going to get 5% interest rates today? They're not. And so we're just simply trying to tell our people, if you have indexed universal life, that is awesome, because it's going to really help you accomplish your retirement goals. But if we can place a dividend paying whole life insurance policy in your portfolio so that you can pay for your family vacations, your children's braces, use it as a place to hold your business capital and fund your business, or if you're a real estate investor, go, use it as a place of capital to pay down payments or on your properties or flip property, then we want to show you how to do that, because it's such an efficient way for your clients to do business. And there's a reason that you want to do this, because if you had your own banking system, and I'm not telling you cancel your Wells Fargo, I'm not telling you to cancel your Citibank, you still need a bank. But if you had your own banking system, you can stop the transfer of wealth to banks and finance companies, and you can begin to capture some of the profit that the local banks and the big national banks currently make on your behalf. So when you do that, you can increase your client's wealth, you can give them asset protection, you can give them tax advantages. But here's the big story for your clients. You get the use, liquidity, and control of your own money. And people don't even know what they don't know what that means right now because they're not used to having that. And if you can step in and be not only the retirement planning specialist, but the financial specialist that tells them how to have better use of their own money and more liquidity and more control, that makes you golden as their financial advisor or their agent. And so that's what the private financing strategy does. That's what infinite banking does. But here's what everyone needs to understand. There are only two sources of income. You going to work and earning a paycheck, and your money at work working for you. And we want to show you, if you're doing the first one, we want to show you how to do the second one. And if you knew at retirement or passive income time that you would get back everything you paid into a system, but get it back tax-free, would you object to putting more money into that system? Well, no, everyone would want to do that. And so there are just a lot of things that we want to be able to teach you all that you can teach your clients to make you the most valuable asset to your clients and keep them for not only their life, but they want to refer every client to you and they want to refer their family to you. The other thing people need to think about is wealth must reside somewhere. Where do you want your wealth to reside? If you want it to reside in real estate, fantastic. Stock market, fantastic. But you need a foundation with which to place that wealth. So why would that not be in any type of cash value life insurance policy? And then you take the cash value and go use it to reside in the stock market or real estate or, you know, the next widget or whatever you do. And most people don't realize they're going to finance everything they buy. You're either going to pay interest to someone else or you're going to give up interest if you pay cash for something that you otherwise would have earned. And so we can negate the interest you pay if we set up a private banking system with dividend paying whole life insurance. The main points that we want to teach you all so that you can impart this to your clients is the guaranteed continual growth of cash value life insurance provides for full cost recovery. Because we can design a policy that will have more cash value than your cost basis within 8 years. And that seems like a long time, but where else are they going to put cash value? And so what Micah and I can bring to the table is we understand the policy design. We bring Mutual Trust Life to the table because Mark Creighton is key. He is integral to how we design policies. I do want to show you a policy design that we recently had for one of our clients. She owns a travel company, she and her husband. She had $50,000 of cash sitting in the bank earning her nothing. And she has $1,000 a month that she wanted to spend. And Mark Creighton designed this policy specifically for our client. So with $50,000 of first year lump sum and $12,000 a month of life insurance premium, within 30 days, we've got $48,000 of cash value that our client can use to fund her travel business, to go purchase a property for Airbnb. So we not only understand how to talk to your clients and why they want to do this, we understand how to specifically design exactly what they need, specific to their needs, their business, their family's needs. And so we're just very honored to work with Raza and Carmen. We're thrilled to be able to work with any agent that wants to bring this to their clients if you feel like it would be a good fit, and we'll work with you every step of the way. But just as important as the loan process is, the policy design on the front end is extremely important. But the loan process is going to be very important, because if your client owns a business, then we have a tax reduction strategy that we can employ, and we know some CPAs that can help with that. So I'll shut up with that and leave it open to any questions. Carmen, thank you, and Raza for the time. I think you're on mute, Carmen.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Teresa. I thought you were going to go into, I thought you were going to share a policy design. Were you going to share one?
Do you not see that on the screen?
No, I just see key benefits. Guys, am I missing anything?
Okay, yeah, sorry. Hold on. Let me go back and share again.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. I just wanted to make sure.
I'm good at IBC, but I'm really junky at technology. So this is the most recent policy that we designed for a client. As I was saying, the client had $50,000 of cash sitting in the bank. They wanted to spend $12,000 in annual premium. And so this is what Mark Creighton with Mutual Trust Life helped us design, so that we minimize death benefit, we increase cash value rider, so that out of $62,500 first year, our client has $48,000 of cash value in 30 days. They can go do what they need to with. And this is why we like Mutual Trust, because we get Mark Creighton, we get the IBC design team, and we can accomplish a lot of good. I know all of the department heads there. I know all of the underwriters, and we can get a lot of things done there for your clients. Now, I'm going to say this. These policies are not for the agents in the field that are seeking a lot of compensation first year. This is for the agent that understands if they're going to see their clients through, 10, 20 years of financial services and work with second and third generations, the agent will not make as much on one of these policies if it didn't have the cash value rider on there. But if you put the cash value rider on there, we have clients that have been with us for 20 years because we did this. And it's been a great strategy for so many of our clients. I have an engineer, Micah and I probably talk with 3 times a week. He's spreadsheet math guy, and he never thought this would work. And when he went to do his spreadsheets and his math, he realized it would work. He is our biggest advocate, because he's bought 4 properties and a farm with his dividend paying whole life insurance policy. So we can help your agents not only tell the client why they want to do this, we can help them with how they want to do it. We can help them with policy design, and we can help them with loan process and any tax strategies that would come with that.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
It is awesome.
So guys, let's open it up for any Q&A. I know some of you guys are like waiting on asking a ton of questions. I know it's a strategy that's a little outside of the IUL, but this is a strategy you use when somebody has lump sum money and they don't want to put it in a fixed index annuity because it's locked up, right? And they want liquidity. Also, somebody that is not really a good candidate for an IUL at that point, because the IUL cash accumulation kind of like is a good strategy over 10 years, and then the liquidity comes in play. So if somebody says, hey, I want to put some money in a policy, but I want it to be also liquid, where do I put it? So guys, here's your option on where you put it. So any questions? I know, Pastor Eddie, you have some good clients that you work with that could be potentially good for this.
Yeah, I did have a question. I have a current potential client right now. I'm doing a meeting with tomorrow that expressed doing a 10-year pay-in, $600 a month. He's 40 years old, $600 a month for 10 years and then stopping. What would that look like with this type of policy?
So if he's 40 years old and he's in decent or good health, I can run that illustration for you and just send you kind of a sample as to what he could do. Now, I just want to be very clear in saying that if they're doing a monthly premium, it's probably going to be better to wait 6 months to a year before they borrow any cash value out to go pay down debt or purchase anything, just to give the policy time to build it up. But Pastor Eddie, I'm super happy to send you a sample illustration based on a 40-year-old so that you can see what that looks like and, you know, get your input on how you want that designed. But, and I also want to be very clear, Micah, my business partner, and I, we're very focused on, if the client needs just strictly retirement planning, IUL is the way to go. If they strictly want a private financing strategy, dividend paying whole life is the way to go. Do Micah and I like to see both plans in place for our clients? Yes. So think about that as well. But Carmen and Raza can give you my contact info. And Micah and I are happy to design something just as a sample so you can see what that would look like.
Teresa, are you in the messenger group, the Facebook messenger group?
I am not on Facebook. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no worries, no worries. So Carmen, if you can drop her email and phone number in the messenger.
Okay.
Well, you're missing out on a lot of jokes. We crack a lot of jokes all day in that group.
I know. You know what? Facebook, I'm a Gen Xer. I just want to go like beat up things with a baseball bat when it comes to Facebook. So
Oh.
I think Micah, my business partner, is on Facebook, so we may need to get him involved on that. He's on this call tonight, so he's probably
No worries,
laughing at me right now.
No worries.
I had one more question, if I could.
Yes, sir.
I have another business owner who he owns a construction company, and
Yes.
he is, I want to say he's around 50, probably 40, probably late 40s, early 50s. When you mentioned the cash up front, what
Yes.
type of suggestions do you have to let somebody know that? Because he was looking for something like that because he does, mass construction, he does cleanups, he does a bunch of things. And when I spoke to him briefly, I haven't had a sit down with him yet, but he was expressing that he's been looking for something where he could put his cash away to save, but he could actually borrow from it. So that sounds like a perfect thing that would fit his bill.
I'm so happy you asked that, Pastor, because my father, he owned a construction company for 40 years. And he is the very reason I got into the insurance business and read the book called Becoming Your Own Banker, because my dad, we set up a large life insurance policy for him. And when he would get, requests from his clients to do jobs, we'd pull a loan from his policy. He would go buy all of the construction materials and pay his contractors. And then when the clients paid him, he would go pay his policies back. He then went a step further. Because we live in the very northwest corner of Arkansas, we're very close to a very large Mennonite community. They're like the Amish, and they build these fantastic storage buildings. We like to call them redneck retreats because all the southern folks have them in their backyard, you know, and that's where we put our junk. And so they couldn't find a bank that would finance their storage buildings. And my dad said he used to meet with them every Saturday for coffee. And my dad said, I'll finance your storage buildings. Between his construction business and financing the storage buildings for the Mennonite community, he made a 28% rate of return. So when you start talking construction company owners, that's where I cut my teeth. That's my wheelhouse. So I'd love to have a conversation with you about that. Just showing you exactly what my family business model was so that you can impart that to your construction company owner.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to that conversation.
Oh, I'd be honored.
I did put my information in the chat to you directly. So, and I'll get
Perfect.
Raza too.
Perfect. Thank you. I got you. I got it.
Anybody else has any questions? No question is a bad question, guys.
Hi, this is Emma. I'm not sure if I missed anything, but what's the interest rate?
Usually 4.9 to 5% with the two mutual companies that we use. My smoke alarm's going off because my family's cooking. So if you hear that in the background, I apologize.
It's okay.
Yeah. So Mutual Trust Life, we can get a lot more done. As far as leeway with policy design, their interest rate is 5%. And we have the brains of Mark Creighton, the regional VP there, to help us really get a great policy design with the most cash value without crossing the MEC line. So we're always going to defer to them first. But we do have a couple of other companies we use. You know, but Mutual Trust, it's a smaller company, and I know all of the department heads, so it's just easier to get business done.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So one question somebody had asked me that, let's say in that scenario that 48,000 was the available money, right?
Yes.
And so after 30 days, they said, you know what? I need to put a down payment on property and I take that 48,000 out. So now they're taking it out. In their account, is their 48 or 62 still earning interest?
So mutual trust is what we call non-direct recognition accounting. So 0.25% of the dividend they pay does not earn money while their money's still sitting there. So there's a lot of people in the business that say, oh, direct recognition accounting where all your money's still earning is way better, but non-direct recognition accounting, you know, there's not a lot of difference, but the ease of the loan process and the intelligence of the home office employees on why you're borrowing money and how fast you need the money, that to me makes up for the 0.25% of difference in what your money's earning.
So, because I heard that Lafayette, your money is your original principal is still earning the 5%.
That is correct. So there's 0.25% that is still earning money. But if you want easy loan process, that to me, for my clients over the years, have made up for it. And I will tell you, I just lost a client a year ago last January. He had been my client for 18 years. and what I was able to do and how quickly I was able to get his family money, and the ease of loan process for his family to buy properties more than made up for that 0.25% that was not earning money when they had a loan outstanding. So, you know, there's not a lot of difference, but if Lafayette works out to be the best choice for a client, we're going to use them. It just depends on what the client needs. I have no skin in the game on who we use. I just know where I can get a lot more done.
Awesome. So when they take out the 48,000, what's the timeline they have to pay it back? And they're paying it back plus the interest, right?
So the timeline is their decision, because when you have a dividend paying whole life insurance policy, the policy owner is the owner of the contract. They determine what the payback schedule is. Unlike a bank where the bank determines it, the policy owner determines that. If they want to pay interest only payments, I recommend that, because it's not the policy loan that will take down the cash value growth of a policy. It's policy loan interest that will. So we always recommend our clients just make interest payments if they can't pay back a loan for a while. My daughter, one of my daughters got married 4 years ago. I still have a wedding loan outstanding on one of my policies, but I've been paying interest payments all along, because I understand how it works. So we work with each client to determine what's the best way to proceed once they've taken a loan. Because if they own a business, there's a tax reduction strategy there if they're just paying interest payments. So yeah, that's kind of an individual basis as to how we determine what's the best path forward.
So you can technically keep paying the interest payments till death.
Yeah.
And then the death benefit takes care of the principal balance.
Correct, because you have to remember, when you borrow money from your policy in a mutual company, you're borrowing money from the general fund of the company,
right,
with your death benefit as the guarantee. So if you're paying interest payments, you're good to go if, you know, your plan is not to pay that back. Now, so Nelson Nash, who wrote the book, he always used an analogy about a grocery store. He said, if you owned a grocery store and you wanted to take 4 cans of peas home, he's like, don't steal the peas, pay for the peas. But, you know, he said, at least pay what your grocery store pays for the peas. And that's
cost, yeah, pay the cost.
exactly. That's what we tell our clients. But boy, if you can pay the loans and the interest back, my goodness, you accelerate your wealth accumulation if the client can do that. And that's the very first thing we want to tell them to do.
Yeah, because a lot of people, guys, can use this policy for debt snowball payoff.
Right.
Like we have a team member. He did a very simple policy with Lafayette. He wanted to pay off his car for $6,000. And
Right.
he said, if I just pay the car off, I don't have $6,000 anymore. And I have a old car with a lien on it, with a title. So what he did was he put 6,000 in the Lafayette account. After 30 days, withdrew about 5, paid off his car, and then the payment that he was making on the car, which was about 300 a month, start putting it in Lafayette product. So he will basically, by the end of the year, he will bring it up to about 3,000, and he's going to put some more money in it. So he's using it for a very small strategy, but it can be very creative, you know, how you use the strategy.
That
Now I
comes
have
from Wilson's book. He talks about the twins.
yes.
He explains the same thing. You know, in their case, it was $10,000, but
Right.
it's the same strategy, and then rebuy the car every certain amount of years. It's a
Yes.
simple way for people to be able to understand it. Now, I do have a question about dividends. What does that look like? You're talking about mutual trust, if I'm not mistaken. And I
Mhm.
know that you're recommending to pay the interest rate. Now, what does the dividends look like? I know they're not guaranteed, but yearly, does that cover at least that 5% and more, or what does that look like?
Thank you for asking that. That's a great question, because when you talk about Mutual Trust Life or Lafayette Life or Penn Mutual, what you're earning in dividends, basically, I can't say this with all certainty, but I've seen it over 20 years, you're getting a wash loan. So what you're paying in interest, you're earning in dividends. So your interest rate that you're paying is kind of wiped out with what you're earning in dividends. And I want to go back to Lafayette Life for a minute. I'm glad you brought that up, Raza, because I have a great story. I have a client that owned a appliance repair business, and he bought a natural gas powered couple of trucks because it was much more cost affordable to him, because of all the driving they did. So he took a $40,000 policy loan, paid himself back at 5% interest, when the interest rate on a natural gas powered car was going to be 7%. And that just worked out really well for him. And then when he paid off the loan in 4 years, he was able to take that same cash value and go and buy a piece of property and build a retreat for his family. So you're really recycling dollars time after time after time. So I have so many client stories that I can share with each of you that might be a benefit to what your clients want to do. And I'll have private conversations with you guys all day, every day, because I'm just so honored to be a part of this team. And I want to bring something to the table that will help you all, because I feel like, you know, Carmen and Raza bring a lot to us. So you guys call anytime. Micah and I will be happy to have these conversations with you about what our clients have done over the years.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, guys. So we are actually excited and really, honored to have Teresa and her business partner come on board and join our team. And she
Absolutely.
part of Carmen's executive director base shop. But we are wealth makers as one team, one direction that we move in, and so they're there to help us. And obviously, you can help use them as a closing mentor and help close some of your big deals. And they'll also do the Zoom with your clients and help you
Yes.
close it. And you just team up with them, just like you would do with any other, two, three people in a sales team, right? So and then learn from that. You pay forward for training, and you learn from that, and then eventually you can do it, and you can be the coach and mentor and closer for your team. But
Raza, I do want to say one thing. So Micah and I understand that we're here for a certain goal.
Mhm.
These are your clients, they're not ours. We're
Correct.
here to be your support team. So
Correct.
we're here to help you close cases. We're not here to take over your clients. That's not our goal. We're here to support our team that we're now a part of. And we just want to make sure each of you know that we're super honored to work with each of you.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Any other questions? If not, then we will wrap it up.
I have a quick question.
Sure, go ahead, Robin.
So I may have missed this. I know that this sounds similar to the IUL, but in regards to like the amount of money minimal that a client would need to put in, I guess for it to make sense, is there a minimal? And then like I know you mentioned like the 50,000, and then the $1,000 a month. Is there a smaller minimal that someone can start, maybe 10,000? I think I heard something like that.
Oh, yes, of course. One of my favorite client stories is a young woman. She was 42. She wanted $100 a month. And after her first year, she had, she had put $1,200 in. She had $850 of cash value and needed to buy an $800 set of tires. So we took $800 out. She bought her set of tires. She paid her policy back in 3 months. And then she used it as her Christmas club account 4 months later to go buy presents for her mom and dad, her sister, and her daughter. So you can start with $100 a month. You can start with 300. I've had clients who do $300,000 a year. I don't care what the budget is. We'll make it work for your clients and show them how to utilize it in the most efficient way. Great question.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I was just getting ready to ask, what have you seen, Teresa, has been the lowest amount that somebody has done? So, yeah.
In
So you-
a whole life policy on a person under 45, we can do $100 a month and make it work.
Mhm.
But if they're over 45, we're dealing with cost of insurance, and we really can't get the cash values as high as we want. So
Yep.
we gotta
Absolutely.
get creative. Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, I think the key is, this is advanced market strategies. Really learn and understand and become a student of it. And so that it's called creative financing and creative strategies, right? And really showing a client alternative methods, and that's what this is. And as your brain starts working around it, you will come up with ideas. And then as the client explains where they're coming from, what the situation is, then you can strategize and give them direction. And that's where Teresa can help initially and help you guys educate you on that, and do baby steps.
Yep.
I've raised 5 children. I can do baby steps.
There you go. There you
There you
go.
go. Thank you so much. This has been awesome, and I'm glad I got you right at the hip, right? So I can just call you and just run strategies by you all the time.
Yeah, that's a benefit of having direct to you in your team.
Carmen, you're my spirit animal, girl. I love you.
That's it. We're gonna get it going, and I can split some sales with you, and I don't even have to worry about it.
I'm just super honored that Mike and I can be a part of this and bring something to the table. It's great for us because he and I both, we don't just want to suck up commissions. We want to be a benefit to people in our field. And so, one day y'all are going to have to get Micah on a call so he can tell you all that he's done for years, because he has a wealth of knowledge and all kinds of things. I'm kind of in my little circle, but he's much more expanded than what I'm doing. So you got to get him on a call one day.
Next training.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Thank you very much, Teresa. Thank you, Carmen, and have an amazing.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll see the rest of the team in Canada, and the rest of you who are not going to make it to Canada, definitely see you guys in Texas Takeover. But all our trainings are going to still continue. Our other team leaders are going to continue the trainings on next Tuesday, Saturday. We're going to have Mastermind as well. So please plug in, keep building your business, even though we are not here, but you guys have the Wealth Maker as a team supporting you. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have an amazing night.
Bye-bye.
Everybody.
Thank you.
That was great.